What's up, everybody? I'm Jason, this is Freebird Garage, and we are cleaning up the rear FXR fender. Last one we did was to bump out the dent that is on there. Now we're gonna do some filling, get it all cleaned up, show my process of what I do before I get this thing actually ready for paint. All right, so let's dive on the bench, check it out. All right, guys, we are cleaning up the FXR fender, kind of getting it ready for paint for the most part, maybe about 80% ready. We have the ding that we did in the last video all banged out, cleaned up. Just needs to have some body filler on there. If you haven't checked that last video, go check it out. It's pretty cool. Got it actually back to normal for the most part. Now I'm gonna show you how to fill it back up. We got a bunch of the paint defects already just from the overall ride on this rear fender. A lot of beating over the past 30 years. Gotta get that all cleaned up. And I cleaned up the bottom. It's pretty muddy, used a part washer and all that, cleaned that all up. Came out pretty good. Everything else on this fender looks pretty decent. Just a lot of paint defects from just overall riding on this thing for over the years. All right, so let's dive in. Let's get it done. All right, first thing, we gotta remove this sticker here using the heat gun, heat this all up and get this thing peeled off, all dry, cracked, and rotted out. So let's get it done. So I'm gonna start off with this like 600 grit. Actually, this is actually 400, 600 grit. Just to break that clear off here and scuff it up. Areas we'll get deeper in if we need to see fit. And from there, this will tell us where our highs and lows are on this fender here. And we'll start with that. So the 600 grit isn't quite working. We're gonna have to go down to a 400 grit. That should hopefully cut deeper into the more rust pitted areas, more so in the tail ends of the fender here. Which is funny because the rear, you only see really like 25% of this. You know, you got your back seat, you got your turn signals, everything. You're only really seeing like this portion of the fender. But we wanna make the whole thing look good, so I'm gonna hit this again with 400, see if we get some better results. All right, so we're making some progress. The 400 did pretty good. We got everything real well smoothed up on top. We got where the sticker was all smoothed out, felt pretty rough. Now that feels real good. We got the taillight area pretty well done. We have some areas where we gotta fill in with some body putty there. And then of course, up on top, which we're gonna do next, all right? So this is stuff I use is glazing spot putty, whatever it is by Bondo. Works out real well. It's gonna glaze right over the spot that we have. We're gonna push it right back and then let it cure for a little bit and then sand it down a bit. That should hopefully get us smoothed up on top. Now this stuff cures real fast, so we have like a minute to maybe 5 minutes before we can pretty much stop what it's doing, then it's gonna have to be sanded down where it's at. More is fine. You can always whittle it down with this stuff, which is pretty cool. It's real easy to work with. So if you go through it, just put some more back on, redo the process until you get what you need. So let's get it done. This is the spotty putty Bondo. Let's finish it up. So we're just gonna get that in there, just like that. Use this spreader here, and just start to fill it in, as so. Get the spots around here all nice, cleaned up. Oh yeah, there we go. And what I'm gonna wanna do is go back, forth a little bit there. Probably laid it on a little too thick, but because of the dent, that'll be all right. You can already feel it drying up. Okay, we got that. We'll do some other holes while we're at it. We got up here. Yeah, clean that up there. Yep. Drying up. Better clean this before go too far. Start again on another spot here. Using one of these putty knives that are like super flexible, going against the fender to get that nice curve helps out a lot. So we'll see here, we got a little pinhole right here. Get that filled in. And let's see, got that spot. We got a bunch of different little divots we're gonna get cleaned up here. So the scratches right here would probably show up through the paint if we shot it straight black right after this, but we're gonna use filler. So just in case, we're gonna topple on this body filler. Get that all cleaned up. We are all touched up. I'm sure I'm missing some spots on here, but as you can see, we got everything pretty much puttied up, dried up. Now we're gonna roll some sandpaper across it. Starts to smooth this whole thing out. Starting to actually look better in person. I know on camera it probably doesn't look that great, but it's starting to smooth out. Hopefully a lot better than it looks. All right, so let's get this thing done. We are not quite done, but this is a great start for this video. We got a lot of the holes filled and smoothed out. It is like glass going over. You can't even feel that putty. That's what we want. And I have that dent almost filled in. I got another layer of putty I'm gonna roll over here to get that final touch. But overall, I am super stoked on how it came out. It's starting to blend right back into the metal. Can't even tell that was ever there. So that just shows that little dinging, little putty, and we get it back to normal. Still a lot to go, a little more to clean up, a little more sanding. But for now, guys, that about wraps for me in this one. I would greatly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button, tap that like, press the notification, leave a comment below and tell what you think. For those that are subscribed, thank you, and as always, stay free. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.